Hey, it's Mike with Serr.biz, search engine ranking rules. Dominate your niche. So, I got a call today from a prospective client who is a travel agent in Dallas. We haven't really moved forward yet, but I thought I'd get ahead of the curve and do a quick little SEO audit for travel agent Dallas, see who the top players are, see what I can bring to the table for the first meeting, and start to immerse myself in that space a little bit more. And if you're in the travel industry, watch this. It'll probably help you learn how to dominate your niche in travel. So let's jump over to the next screen. Okay, so I am over here on Google. I'm using Firefox in private mode so as not to skew the results based on personal history of search. I've typed in travel agent Dallas, and let's see. Obviously, the first thing's paid. We knew that was going to happen. There's 36 million pages competing for the top spot, so that lets you know for that exact search phrase it's going to be a little tough. But if you're willing to make the commitment, you can do it. So if we scroll down, obviously this is low-hanging fruit of getting into Google Maps. There's not that many that showed up in my immediate geographical area, but if we scroll out for sort of all of Dallas over to Fort Worth, we can see that there's quite a bit of search results, but still not all that many that actually have a physical location. So if you're not in the Google map, you need to get in Google and start getting reviews. So over here we see the top ranked one has 36 reviews and only a 4.5. The next one is 4.9 with 102. So Sharon's probably closer to me physically, my IP address, than Campbell. And then Vincent Vacations is right here in the top 10 with 36. Now I mentioned them because we're going to find out they're actually in the top 10 as well. So once we scroll past the Google Graph space here, we'll see some search results. But I just want to touch base on this quickly. So the people that are here, if you look at them, ABC 11, that's really tough to compete with. What is interesting is I ran their sites through Schema Validator, and let's see what that looks like. So the ABC has a schema markup for a news article. Lots of good information there. Obviously, it's really hard to compete with ABC, but they did utilize schema, which Google likes. And you can sometimes get into that space, that Open Graph space, or not Open Graph, that Google Graph space, if you use schema or micro formats. So let's just take a look at another one that was in that space. Let's see, the next one was nerdwallet.com. Let's see what their page has, if they have any schema. Let's see, let me bring it over here for you. They use the breadcrumb schema as well as the article schema, which again just validates the use of schema. And let's see, who else did we have here? Oh, Frommer's. Well, this was interesting. The Frommer's website, here it is, by the way, the actual article. Pretty text heavy, obviously. Google likes text. Look at all that serious text. But their page, as far as schema validation went, they didn't have any. But, you know, Frommer's is a long-time, well-respected travel publisher, so I'm sure if we did a backlinks on them, they would just have like literally millions of backlinks. So they're a super high authority site. So that's probably in part why Google went ahead and included them there in that space. So back to the search results. Close that. We get all the way down to the very first one, which is legacytravel.com. I've never heard of them, but that doesn't mean anything, right? So let's take a look at their site. Okay. They're number one. sure that's an H2 tag or H1 tag. We'll look at that all in a second, but just giving it a quick look. Pretty heavy on the text right on the home page. I'm sure it's responsive. They've got a video here, a Vimeo video. They probably also have a YouTube video that's related. They're in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. YouTube's really awesome for building backlinks and validating your profile. Mexican beach experts. Yeah, interesting that they're not corresponding their branding, but let's just take a look at one of their videos, see if they have a backlink to their parent site. No, they don't. There must be something. That's interesting. All right. So now let's just take a look at the quick SEO Quake, SEM Rush search results on this. Or not search results, the quick analysis. Their URL is good. They're not using canonical tags. They've got 81 characters in the title. They've got a meta description. Oddly, they still have keywords, meta keywords, which really nobody uses those anymore. It's not advised, but this site's probably been around a long time if they still have keywords listed there. But what they do have listed doesn't look like it was over the top and not spammy, so that's relevant. Interestingly, they don't have an H1 tag, but they've got an H2 tag. Let's just see, H2, 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 H3. All right, interesting. That's the awesome thing about SEO and doing an audit is that you've got your rules, standard things, but then when you do an audit, you see things get broken, and then you have to dig in deeper to find out, well, why is this site that doesn't have perfect SEO ranking so high? We'll look into that a little bit more. They've got 2 images without alt tags. That's an easy fix. A 38% text to HTML ratio. Not bad. They've got an iframe, but it's probably related to the video. No flash, that's good. Microdata, no microdata, no schema. Open graph for Facebook, etc. No, and no on Twitter. Very interesting. Viewport, it's responsive. Robot text, XML sitemap, language setting, doc type, encoding, Google Analytics, and the Fave account. Good. So those are the top line things. I really only get like a 50% on standard best practices of SEO, but they're number one. So then we took a look over at their backlink profile from Ahrefs, and this is what we've got on legacy travel. CN Travel is linking to them. They've got a bunch. They've got about 2,358 backlinks. 72% are do follow. Interesting. And their domain rating is 32. Bunch of the links are all pointing to the homepage, Triple Play Resort. So that's probably it. They've probably got a lot of these resorts that have linked to them, which is highly relevant, right, and validating. I don't know what that life hack thing is. That would be something to look at. They've got some stuff in Spanish, CNN. That's interesting. So they've got an actual direct link from CNN.com. That's big. That's a big authority site that's linking to them. Yellow Pages, Espanol CNN. Let's see, Moz, Community Topics. Cool. So as you can see, bestluggage.com, all bunch of insider.com related to travel, etc. Glassdoor, Homestead, Yahoo. Interesting. Deal of the day, DNB. That's a good authority site. So it looks like they've got some solid, some solid backlinks from authority sites. So if we went into the account on Href, we'd find a lot more information. So that's who's ranking number one. Not the best SEO on page, but a solid amount of backlinks, which presumably at first pass are all really solid. And in general, Google's pretty good at weeding out the spam link, backlink profile people, etc. You might get a short bump, but you're probably ultimately going to get knocked down. So stay the course, be ethical, white hat, get good solid links when you can, and write good content. So now let's take a look at the number two person. Well, actually, number two is Yelp. We're not going to touch Yelp. Travel Leaders. Okay, Travel Leaders is the number two position. That's cool. Let's take a look at their website. I'm going to open over here. Travel Leaders. Now this is interesting. Travel Leaders in and of itself is a big authority website. Let's see what their Alexa rating is. They're number 202,843 out of all the websites in the Alexa index. But they've got thousands of pages. This is really just an index page of their individual agents in the area. But this is interesting. The number one person here, April Defterios. Let's just take a look at her profile quick, which is supporting this page as well, internal linking. But she's got 61 reviews. This page, lots of content, images. Look at all these reviews. I bet if we did some schema check on this, it probably has schema on those reviews. And there's just a ton of travel related content. It is optimized. That page, Little Elm, Texas, so it's very regional. The Little Elm's a town a little north of Dallas here. This page is South Dallas dash Fort Worth. So they've optimized the title, etc. Let's take a look at their SEO Quake Analysis. Travel Leaders, travel. They've got a good URL, 100 characters. They're using canonical URLs. Titles 51, it's good. Meta description, 169 characters, that's good. No meta, great, or rather no meta keywords, that's good. Heading is good. They've got one H2. Let's just open that up. Yeah, so they've got Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas travel agents, plural, in the H1 tag. The H2 tag, we're finding results by, hey, just a tip. You guys want to try and bump yourself, modify that H2 tag and use some keyword density there. Like, I don't know, Dallas agent, Dallas travel agent, singular. Try to get more keyword density because that's kind of a waste of a tag. They actually have too many H2 tags in my opinion. Of course, it is subjective. What the policy I use is one H1, one H2, and then unlimited H3s. Almost never a 4 or 5. Definitely not an H6. You just don't need it. Anyway, but they've got lots of H tags, which is good, although they're not particularly SEO. It's all individuals' names, but the most important tag does have the keywords in it. Dallas travel agents, so that's cool. So good job. Images, they've got 64 images without alt tags. They want to fix that from an 88 point of view. You might get sued. You're a big enough company to be a target. Travel Leaders, is that who you are? Yeah, Travel Leaders, you might want to fix that. Text to HTML ratio is low according to SEO Quake, but there is some there, and that's good. I don't really like pages that are all just text, right? There's sort of the perfect geeky SEO way to do things, but remember, you got a human on the other end. That's great if they get to their page, but if they can't bear to read it and it's too dense, they can't find the information they want, they're going to bounce. So keep that in mind. No microdata, no schema. Interesting, they might want to play with that. No open graph, no Twitter card, no AMP, meta, robot tags, XML, no language specification, encoding, analytics, favicon. So interesting. Again, not perfect SEO, yet they're still at the top. So that leads me to believe they've got strong backlink profile. Let's pull that over. What's Href say? Well, there you go. So even though it's an interior page, they've got 161,000 backlinks pointing to them as far as the parent site goes. So that explains why a deep interior index page of a bigger national global site is ranking for such a regional term. So that one, if you're a regional company, crawl this, go through this, find out where they got links, see if you can get similar links from them. They're also domain rating according to Ahrefs is a 72, which is obviously very strong. Point is they've got some solid backlinks. Use Ahrefs to find where they have backlinks and see if you can get your website listed there. Now, let's see who the third person is. And the third website is Vincent Vacations, which we saw earlier was also listed in Google Maps. So that's interesting. That's not uncommon. Typically, the companies that are seen in the Google Map listings are also in the top 10. If they're showing up in the first page of the Google results, then they're often down there as well if they've coordinated, cross-linked, and have good reviews. So let's take a look at Vincent Vacations. So this is also an interior page, travel agency Dallas. I've already looked at this site a little bit. It seems they've got 2 offices, one here, and I think the other one's in Oklahoma. Not a whole bunch of information here. Pretty straightforward, simple. We got a couple reviews here. Are those text? Yeah, those are text. So that's probably helpful. Let me just see what their SEO Quake Analytics say. URL's good, canonical tag, title, meta description. Wow, again, another company. I really haven't seen meta keywords in a while, but interesting. Doesn't look like they spammed it out, but again, that might also indicate that they're just an older site that have been around for a long time and haven't changed their keywords in forever because they were using keywords way back when, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago or longer. A deeper dive would reveal some more information, but this is just a quickie review. Their headings, let's see what their headings are. H1, H2, lots of H2s. Again, a lot of H3s. Anyway, they have a lot of header tags. They've gone all the way down to H6s, actually. Interesting. And what else do we want to look at here? Perfect on no missing alt tags. Text to HTML ratio is very strong, 52%. That explains their positioning a little bit. No frames, that's good. No flash. No microdata, but they did find schema. So back to the point earlier. So the site that has good HTML ratio, proper use of header tags, good schema, they're ranked in the top 10. They've got a Google map, and they also have, let's see what their backlinks are. So now it's interesting. They, according to Ahrefs, they have 35 domain rating, which is a little higher than that first one we looked at. Their backlinks are about double. Again, they've got some, let's see, inclusive weddings, premium crafts, Huffington Post, that's good. That's a really authority site. A blogger.com. So they've probably been at this a while. Yellow Pages, Draft, Blogger, Reddit. They have a hit from Wikipedia. That's good if you can get it. A couple of them it looks like. So Wikipedia, if you can get a legitimate backlink in there, that can be very powerful. That'd be something to explore how they did that. They probably contributed some information somewhere and got the link in, not sure. It's always better if somebody else links to you that's not associated with your business in Wikipedia. If you can get it, that's great. So they basically got strong backlinks, good design, good content, and they're top ranked. let's just take a look at Vincent a little bit more, because they've got 2 hits. So to me, they're the winners. Even though they're down a bit, they've got the Google map and they've got the the organic search result hit, which to me, in my approach, would be to really kind of deep dive on them, find out more about them, find out more about their architecture, their content, where they have links, what certifications they have, etc. And one last thing I want to check on them is, do they have a YouTube page? Okay, look at this. They do have a YouTube channel. They only have 144 subscribers. They do, right from their channel, have a direct backlink. Let me turn this volume down. How many videos do they have overall? Because even though they don't have a lot of subscribers, you can utilize YouTube, not to be a YouTuber per se, but to get backlinks to you that Google does tend to like a lot. Let's see how many videos. They've got a decent amount here. They could probably, let's just take a look at one of these. They could probably use some optimization. No, cool, that's good. They could optimize it a little bit more. It's only 1:40, so it's kind of hard to put in too much information on a 1:40 video. But anyways, they've got backlinks to themselves here. Let's see if some other random one. Did they backlink to themselves? No, they didn't on this one, but their channel does have a backlink, and some other of the videos had backlinks pointing to themselves. So that's how you can use Google Maps and YouTube to help boost up your own website. So that's cool. Okay, so that was interesting. Like I said earlier, if I was really focusing on trying to get a local Dallas travel site ranked in the search engines, I would definitely try to follow Vincent's, what was their name again? VincentVacations.com. I don't know who the webmaster is or who did the SEO, but good job. You guys are right there on the top of the home page of Google, as well as in this Google Maps. So that's who I would follow, because they've got a responsive site, they're in Google Maps, they have YouTube, they've also got a big social profile on Facebook. They've got a ton of backlinks. That would be the one to lead the way, and then the other 2 that I followed, I'd do a deeper dive on those as well and dig in a little bit more. But again, backlinks, schema, responsive code, Google Map, YouTube, those 5 things I believe are what's helping them be in the top 10, and who knows how many other pages that they're or how many other search terms they're ranking for. Anyway, if you need help with your search engine optimization, specifically in the local niche, then check out Serr.biz. There's a whole free tutorial on the website, and I've also now started teaching classes every 3rd Wednesday, private individual training classes and private group classes are also available. Thanks for watching. My name's Mike with Search Engine Ranking Rules, Serr.biz. Dominate your niche.